All right, I'm going to show you guys how to put together this Batwing part by part, step by step from the ground up. So the first things that we're going to want to talk about are specialty parts. The shipbed 200 landing bay you'll need to pick up from Teo Astroneering. This one allows you to walk in through a door and it doesn't have a ladder in it. Over at Hope Tech, you're going to need to pick up 4 Hope Tech Hab cross braces. From New Homestead, you're going to need to pick up 6 Slayton Aerospace SA4330 engines. Also from Hope Tech, you're going to want to pick up 3 fuselages. You're going to want to pick up the fuselage B, C, and D. They could be storeroom or companionway. I'm using storeroom and then 2 companionways for the C and D. You're going to need to pick up a Deimos Ayers bridge from Deimos Star Yard. And then from Stroud Eklund, you're going to want to pick up a Stroud Brig 2x2, a Stroud Living Quarters 2x2. And then in order to get these in their final position, you're going to need a third 2x2 that you're not going to end up using, but just pick up a third one. And then I believe that's it for specialty parts. Oh no, you're also going to need from New Homestead. While you're at New Homestead, you're going to need 2 NG20 Nova Galactic landing gears. And from Hope Tech, you're also going to want to grab a Hope 5 landing gear. That should do it for all specialty parts. Everything else is common. You could build, once you got those specialty parts, you could take your ship, whatever you put those parts on, and go land at your outpost with the ship builder landing pad, and then everything else should be available from there. So once you got those specialty parts, you're going to start off by placing down your shipbed 200 landing bay. Attached to the back of that, a Nova Galactic Armory 2x1. This is the armory that has your mannequins on display when you walk in. So for me, I see the 2 bat suits on display when I walk in. To the back of that, we're going to connect a Stroud Eklund companionway 1x1. Okay, off to the sides of our landing bay, we have Deimos wings. And then we have M30 Ulysses H3 helium tanks, fuel tanks, connected to the Armory 2x1. On the back of the Armory 2x1, we have Nova wings. On the wings, I have scan jammers on both sides, multi-frequency. And then I have some weapons here. We'll talk about the weapons later. You could have any weapons you want. Connecting to the companionway, we have a Hope Tech Hab cross brace, 2 of them. And then I have an engineering bay 3x1. Connected to the front of that is a Stroud storeroom 1x1. From the front right-hand side of my 3x1, I have a Nova Cowling 2L in the PF variant. And behind that, I have a Nova braking engine in the port flip. Behind that, I have a AccuLander 11 landing gear port flip. Make sure it's got this little jagged jogging edge on the outside. Okay, that's important to the cosmetics of your ship. It's flipped on the other side. Behind that, we have a Cap A, Stroud Cap A, flipped and changed the variant, so it's the port aft bottom. Behind the 3x1, I have a Teo cowling. And to the left side back of that 3x1, I have a Stroud, one of the Stroud 4330 engines. I'll show you all the engine flips at the end. Okay, the other side is everything's the same except for it's flipped. And then I have it all in one instead of an engineering bay. So we have Hab cross, 3x1, storeroom, Nova cowling, Nova braking engine, AccuLander 11, flipped, so there's this jogging edges on the outside. Stroud cap A, starboard, aft, bottom, flipped variant. Okay, that's your basic starting point. To complete the back, this is a tricky section. So you're going to want to pay attention. Okay. Inside this is a Deimos hull A, my grav drive, additional fuel. Look, we have a J52 Gamma grav drive. We have a 500T HE3 helium tank. We have a Pinch 8Z reactor. We have a Deimos hull. And actually, I'm going to end up by putting that in there. So, in order to build this, first thing you're going to want to do is bring out all these parts. Okay, place down your Deimos hull A and connect your reactor to the Deimos hull to the top side of it. Duplicate this and bring it to the top so that we could snap something here. Grab your grav drive, bring it up, snap it on there. Now we're going to duplicate this down. In order to do so, we need to select a part that can drop down. If you try to duplicate this, it can't move nowhere. So select that and your Deimos hull that's on the bottom and duplicate those down. Then select the bottom one, select the middle grav drive, duplicate those down. Now you could delete these two duplicate holes and you could delete the two grav drives. And you'll notice now we have a reactor inside a grav drive. Okay, now we're going to bring our fuel in. Select the fuel, select the Deimos hull, drop them down. Delete the extra fuel. Move this hole down to the bottom here. Select it, select this, duplicate them up. Now we got the Deimos hull inside there. Okay, now we want to put our shield onto this Deimos hull. So select the shield, select this, duplicate, drop down, delete the shield, and you can delete all these parts. Now you're going to slap a Teo cowling to the back bottom. And then in order to move this in, you'll see if we try to move it, select all and move, our reactor is not connected to anything. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our 1x1 and select that to the bottom. Then we're going to select all, and now we can move them all right into place. Okay, now you've got the guts all put into place. Okay, next we're going to build up the middle section. Select the area far off. Make sure you got enough room that you could build this on the side of the bottom. And then drop down your Deimos Ares bridge. Right behind that, a Stroud Armory 2x1. Behind that, your Hope Tech Storeroom B fuselage, and then your fuselage C, your fuselage D, and at the back of that, snap on a Deimos tail. Okay, that's the middle. To the back right of the armory, drop in a Stroud workstation. To the front of that is a Stroud braking engine, and to the back is a Slayton Aerospace 4330 engine. Again, I'll show you all the engine flips at the end. Just go ahead and you're going to want to just get that there. Yellow triangle on the outside, and it's curved in, showing the top of the engine. You could snap a Deimos wing to that engine. To the 2x1, we have a Stroud mid-bracer, and we have our 2x2 living quarters. In the front of the living quarters, I have a Stroud mid-bracer, a Nova Cowling 2LPF. On the side of the mid-bracer, I have a Nova Cowling 1L SF. And then on the other side is a Deimos bumper port 4. This piece you don't need to worry about right now. To the right of the Stroud living quarters 2x2 is a Stroud cap A, Stroud cowling, 1L in the port top variant, another one, port top variant. Behind that, Nova cowling 2LPA. And then connected to that on the side is a Deimos bumper in the starboard variant. Connected to this Stroud mid bracer is another mid bracer. Behind that, another mid bracer. And to the side of that is a Nova cowling 1L in the starboard aft flip variant. Okay, so that's this whole side. Everything's the same over here, only I got a 2x2 brig instead of a living quarters and an infirmary instead of a workshop. So attached to the armory, we have an infirmary 2x1. In front of that, Stroud braking engine. Behind that, Slayton Aerospace 4330 engine. To the left of the 2x1, we have mid bracer and a 2x2 brig. Behind the mid bracer is a wing connected to the engine. This engine has the yellow triangle on the outside left, and it's curved to the inside, the middle of the plane, opposite of this one. Okay, in front of the brig, mid bracer, Nova cowling 2LSF, Nova cowling 1LPF, Deimos bumper. Delete this. Behind, to the left of the brig, Stroud cap A, starboard 4 top flip variant. Then we have Stroud cowlings in the starboard top flip, so make sure you flip them so they're curved, matching your wings. 2 of those. And behind that is a Nova cowling 2L SA starboard aft flip variant. Connected to that is a Deimos bumper in the port aft variant. And then we have our 2 mid bracers, and connected to the back mid bracers, a Nova cowling 1L in the port aft PA flip variant. Okay, so that's the entire top of the ship. Let me move these weapons off here real quick. Okay, now what you could do is move this entire piece, select all, unselect your brig, unselect your armory, unselect the Hope Tech storeroom fuselage, and unselect the living quarters. Okay, with those 4 pieces unselected, you can click and move this entire thing on to the bottom. And just make sure that you have the fangs sticking out the front of the cockpit. Anywhere else, I think it's going to be red. Well, yeah. Make sure it looks like that. Okay, the cockpit's your tail. And then click that on. Okay, next. We want to bring in these pieces here. But if we drop them in, for example, if I put this here right now, it's fine. But what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get a ladder here. I'm going to get a ladder here. And sometimes I'll get a ladder in one of these 2 spots. So grab some portholes. Put these 5 portholes on top here. Okay. So coming from your bracers, on your 3x1 in the middle and the front of the 3x1, you have portholes. And then at the back of your armory, Nova armory, you have a porthole. Okay? Then you could bring in your brig. It's going to be red, so change the variant, tap to the right, tap to the left, back to brig, and cancel. Now it's in place. Same thing for our Stroud armory. We're going to put it in place, change the variant, change it back, cancel. And then we're going to grab our living quarters and do the same thing. Snap it into place, change the variant, change it back, cancel. And now we want to get our fuselage in place. Put that right on top of your grav drive. go over to your structural components, grab a Deimos hole A, duplicate it, select the bottom one, select the fuselage, and tap duplicate. They should drop down. And now you can delete this fuselage and delete these Deimos holes. And I just duplicated into there. It doesn't affect anything. You could walk right through it if you wanted to walk through these things, but you don't need to. You could get rid of these two fuselages, but you'll still have this one. And this one is really required for the look of this Batwing. These two aren't so much. But what I noticed is sometimes if I only had this one, sometimes my crew would spawn into there. So like I'd be looking for Barrett and I can't find him on my ship and he's back here and he has no way to get into the main ship. So by adding these two, now if a crew does spawn in this back piece, at least you can run through here and talk to them if you need to. Or they can end up eventually walking into the main section of our ship. Okay, so again, you don't need these two, but you can just like walk right through the grav drives. Like literally, there's a door right here. You can open the door and just walk right through it, and then right into these. No big deal. But you have at least your companions can get in and out. Okay. So there is purpose to that. Okay, next thing you could do is bring out your NG20 landing gears now, and they're going to snap to your front corners of your 2x1s. Snap one in there, and snap the other one over there. And then you could grab your Hope 5 landing gear and snap that underneath your tail and fuselage. Right there. And then we could bring in our last two engines. And those are going to attach to the bottom of your engines that are already in place. Now, here's the engine placements. So the top ones curve in. All the engines expose their top, or this part that has the yellow rectangle. Every engine exposes that, either from the top or bottom. So these two expose it. We have the large engines on the outside, and the bottom ones are just kind of opposite. The bottom ones have the yellow rectangle on the inside of the jet, and they are curved. Oops, let me try to get my camera fixed here. Okay, and they are curved like so. Okay. This engine is an exact copy of this engine. Okay. And then this engine is an exact copy of this one. Okay, so once you have that, you're basically almost finished. So now what you're going to want to do is bring in a Deimos spine A, a Deimos spine B, and a Deimos spine D, as in Delta. Okay, place those on top of your 2x2, and they should run right in line with your wing here. Okay, once you got those three in place, duplicate them, put them on the other side, and then grab the front two parts, duplicate those, and put them in the middle. All right. Now, we're going to do some weapons. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide weapons. I do not like my weapons all over the place showing. It doesn't really look good. So we'll start off with my weapons that are exposed. And in this case, I'm using Disruptor 3340 Auto Alpha Beams. and they just look good. Well, they're great. They're great particle beams, but they look really good from when you're looking at your ship from like a spaceport. They really blend in good. So I like to use them on this ship. Okay, put them on both available spots of your Nova cowlings. Okay, and now once those are in place, you could grab a porthole 4, snap it into place. It'll be red, and then just flip it twice and cancel, and that'll lock that porthole into place. Same thing on the other side. Drop down a porthole, then snap it into place, flip it twice, cancel, and that's locked into place. Okay, so that takes care of one weapon. Second weapon, I'm using obliterator turrets. I could fit 3 of these on because they have a max power of 4. So 2 of them are on my wings, and then my third one I want to hide. Okay, all these last 5 weapons, my third obliterator and my 4 PB300 auto alpha turrets, all of these are going to be hidden. So I'm going to move this part off. I'm going to delete this mid bracer for now, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Delete the mid bracer and move this part off. And then I'm going to move the fuselage D off of the landing gear. Okay? Place down an equipment plate, and then I got my third obliterator right here. And I could bring in my fuselage, snap it into place, change the variant, change it back, cancel, and I got that there. Then I'm going to move all these in right now. Okay. So we're going to put an equipment plate and a PB300 right here, and we're going to do the same here, and then we're going to duplicate that onto the other side. Once you've got those into place, grab your Stroud cowling, flip it 4 times. Whoops. And then cancel. Okay. Same thing over here. Put that into place. Flip it till you get it where you need it, and then cancel. Okay, now we need to get a Stroud mid bracer on top of this. In order to do that, we're going to bring in a Deimos hull and put that on top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this mid bracer right here and duplicate it down. Then I'm going to grab these 2 pieces and move them over here and duplicate the mid bracer down. Then I'm going to delete my hole, and then I can move this one back into place. Okay, now all my weapons are in place. Now I'm going to duplicate this piece. This is the spine A. I'm going to put one in the back here, like that. I'm going to duplicate that and put one back here. That we don't need. And there you have it. That's the Batwing in all of its fine glory. Maximum crew, maximum mobility, and 150 speed. Now, we don't have a lot of cargo. You'll be like, wow, there's no cargo on this thing. If you want cargo, you will be sacrificing your mobility, but we do have a really great spot for cargo. So let's just say you wanted to just get a couple thousand cargo, right? Grab some Galleon S204s or any cargo for that matter. And then right here, we have a perfect spot for cargo. You could add in cargo all you want, as much as or as little. Okay? And right next to your grav drive and in front of your engines. We have these nice 2 spots right here. Perfect for all your cargo needs. So, like I said, if you want cargo, you could put it there. That gives you 3260 on cargo. Additionally, where these mid bracers are, You could also always just drop in some cargo here. So like maybe some of these, and if you painted these black, you know, you could do something like that. Even flip them, maybe. Right? So you could put some, you don't need these mid bracers here. You could always put these, put cargo right there. And then there you go. Look, 5,160 cargo, 46 mobility. And if you didn't want these ones, you could get rid of those. Just keep the ones that you got up on the top. And now we got 77 mobility and 2,000 cargo. So you have some options for cargo. Do with it what you want. And that's your Batwing. Linked in the description of this video is the walkthrough. So go ahead and check out that walkthrough if you want to. I'll also put a card up right here. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. Bye now.